Unit 4, Day 4. Number 1 for your bell ringer. Find the slope of the line through the points. State whether the slope is 0 or undefined. So I'm just going to label these A and B. Remember, to find the slope of 2 points, you do M equals Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. So I'm going to label my points for A, X1, Y1, X2, Y2. So M equals Y2, negative 4, minus Y1, which is 4, over 3 minus 3. Negative 4 minus 4 gives me negative 8 over 0. When I divide by 0, I cannot divide by 0, so my answer is undefined. When your 0 is on the denominator, it's undefined. When it's in the numerator, your answer is 0. On B, X1, Y1, X2, Y2. So M equals 5 minus negative 5 over 8 minus 6. 5 minus negative 5 equals 10. 8 minus 6 equals 2. You can leave it as 10 over 2, or you can reduce it to 5. So 10 over 2 or 5. Graph the data in the table and connect the points with the line. Then find the slope of the line. So I'm going to graph my points. So negative 2, positive 3, negative 1, positive 2, 0, 1, 1, 0. Draw my line. Now I'm going to make my slope triangle. Remember, M equals rise over run. Going to rise 1. Then we'll go to run left, which would be negative 1. M equals 1, negative 1. Vocabulary. Graph in linear functions. Slope-intercept form of a line is y equals mx plus b. M is slope, b is your y-intercept. Example, y equals 3x plus b. Your 3 is your m, your slope, and your 2 is your b, which is your y-intercept. 2. The y-intercept is a point where the graph crosses the y-axis. A linear function is a function with points that lie on a line. It says find the slope and y-intercept of the graph of the function. So we have, remember, y equals mx plus b. Your m is your slope and your b is your y-intercept. So in my equation A, y equals 2x plus b. You can always rewrite your equation on top of it. What is your m? 2, b, positive 4. The sign goes with your b. If I look at b, y equals mx minus 7. Your m will be negative 5 over 6. Your b, well, that should be b right there. I'm sorry. Plus b will be negative 7, because this negative sign goes with the 7, so negative 7. Write your equation again. Y equals mx plus b. Your m, there's nothing in front of the x, so we know there's going to be a 1 there. If there's nothing in front of your variable, it's always a 1, so it'll be 1. Your b, your negative goes with your 3, so your b is negative 3. D, y equals mx plus b. Your m, negative 3, b, positive 5. Positive goes with the 5. Find the slope, y-intercept, and slope-intercept form of the equation. I always like to find my y-intercept first, okay? I'm going to write my equation here. Y equals mx plus b, and my slope is rise over run. So I'm going to find my b first. I'm going to find where my line crosses the y-axis. Okay, this is your y-axis right here. See my line? It crosses my y-axis right here at -1. Now, from my -1 point to this point, I'm going to find my slope, rise over run. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'd be a -5, and then I'm going to run a -1. -5 divided by -1 equals +5. Now I'm going to write my equation. Y equals my m5 x minus 1. You could also find your slope this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Number 3. I'm going to write my equation. Y equals mx plus b. My slope, m equals rise over run. And it'll also help if we find out if our slope is positive or negative. According to my graph, my slope is going to be positive. Okay, my line crosses my y-axis at +2. So we can put +2. That will help us to know in our equation if we need to put a negative b, subtracting b, or adding b. My m, make my slope triangle. On rise 1. I'm going to run 1, 2, 3. 3. So 1/3. Y equals 1/3x plus 2. Number 4. Write my equation. Y equals mx plus b. M equals rise over run. And according to my graph, my slope is going to be negative. I have a negative slope. So I'm going to look at my line. I see that it crosses the y-axis at -2. And I'm going to make my I'm going to make my slope triangle. I'm going to rise 1, 2. And I'm going to run to the left, which would be negative. -1, -2, -3. So 2 over -3. Write it in slope-intercept form. Y equals your slope, 2 over -3x minus 2. Number 5. I'm going to write my equation. Y equals mx plus b. M equals rise over run. And I know this is going to be a positive slope. Okay? This time, you do not have a point located given to you on the y-axis. So we have to look at my line, and we'll take my pencil, and I'm just going to trace my line till I see where it crosses the y-axis. Oh, found it. Crosses the y-axis right here. 0, -1. So my y-intercept is -1. It crosses the y-axis at -1. So you can take either point. You can take this point, and make your slope triangle, or you can take it from -1 and make your slope triangle. Either way is correct. So I'm going to go to the points that are given. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we went here, be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Or it would be 2/3. Put in slope-intercept form. Y equals 4, 6, x, minus 1, or y equals 2/3 x minus 1. Number 6. Y equals mx plus b. M equals rise over run. A negative slope. It crosses my y-axis at +1, right here. Make my slope triangle. So I made my slope triangle. I'm going to do my rise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to run to the left, which is going to be negative, -1, -2, -3. So my slope is 5/-3. Write it in slope-intercept form. Y equals 5/-3x plus 1. Number 7. I'll write my equation. Y equals mx plus b. M equals rise over run. My y-intercept is at -2. It crosses the y-axis at -2. We'll make my slope triangle. I know it's a positive slope. New positive there. 1, 2, 3. And then run 1, 2, 3. 3/3 equals 1. So your slope-intercept form, you can do y equals 1x minus 2, or you can just do y equals x minus 2. Graph linear functions. First thing you do is graph your y-intercept, your b. From your y-intercept, apply your rise over run using your slope, m. Plot the point, draw a line through the points. So here's your example. So 1 equals my b. So we drew a point on my b. I'm going to do my rise, 1, 2, because 2 is my rise. Then I'm going to run 3. 1, 2, 3. So rise. And then run. And we plot our points. And we draw. So on number 3, my b is +3. My m is -4/3. Or you can do 4/-3. It does not matter which one you put the negative with, the rise or the run. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is going to plot my 3, my +3 for my y-intercept. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to use my first one first. I'm going to run down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3. And mark my point. I'm also going to do the next one to show you. You can do either way. We'll go up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Run to the left, which is negative. 1, 2, 3. Plot your point. And then draw your line. Remember that you can pause this video anytime to catch up. Number 4, y equals negative 2x plus 5. My b is 5, positive 5, and my m is negative 2. When I have a whole number, we always have a 1 under it, so we have rise over run. So I'm going to plot my 5, positive 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. We can go up 2 to the left 1. It'll still be negative. And I'm going to plot my points. If you plot a point that would not make a straight line, then you've done something wrong. Number 5, m or b equals negative 2. My m, there's a invisible 1 here, be 1 over 1 will be your slope. Plot your negative 2, then rise 1 over 1. Rise 1. I did more than 2 points to show you. You can only do 2 points if you like. 6, example number 6. Your b, negative 1. Your slope, negative 1 over 3, or 1 over negative 3. So b, negative 1. I'm going to go down 1 and over 3. Then I'm going to go up 1 and then to the left 3. If I had a ruler, it would be a lot straighter. Okay, graph the function y equals 1/5 x. Notice there is no b. Your b is missing because remember y equals mx plus b. When there's nothing there, when your b is missing, it's going to be 0. So your b equals 0, and your slope's going to be 1 over 5. So plot your point at 0. I'm going to rise 1, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And draw your line. Graph the function y equals negative 5 over 4x. Once again, just like the problem before, there's no b, so your b is going to equal 0. And your slope is going to be negative 5 over 4. So you'll plot your 0. And go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then to the right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you can do positive 5 over negative 4. So I can go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and positive 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Standard form of the equation, ax plus by equals c, where a and b are both not 0. So the steps is to write the equation in slope-intercept form. So basically we are solve for y. Okay, so you want it to look like the y equals mx plus b form. Use the slope and y-intercept to graph the equation. So I'm going to write my equation up here. So I want it in y equals mx plus b form. But my equation is x plus y equals negative 2. Just like when we were doing equations, I want to get the y by itself. So I'm going to move my positive x over with my negative 2. To get rid of a positive number, I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. X minus x gives me 0, so y equals negative 2 minus x. But I want it into the y equals mx plus b form, So I'm just going to flip-flop everything. So I'm going to move my negative x to the front, minus 2. My b is negative 2, and my m is negative 1 over 1. So I'm going to plot my negative 2, and go down 1, and there's my line. So the goal is to get the y by itself, and to get it into the y equals mx plus b form. I'm going to rewrite y equals mx plus b. Rewrite that, make it a little neater. Y equals mx plus b. Rewrite my equation so I have a little bit more room. Negative 2x plus 3y equals negative 6. When we're going from standard form to slope form, you want to make sure that you keep the coefficient and your x together. They are a pair. So wherever one goes, the other one goes. Okay? So if it's a negative 2x and I want to move it to the right-hand side, I'm going to do positive 2x on both sides. So negative 2x plus 2x gives me 0. So 3y equals, what's negative x? Oh, negative 6 plus 2x. I'm going to go ahead and put it in slope-intercept form. So 3y equals positive 2x minus 6. Okay, I got the y. I got 3y equals 2x minus 6. I want the y to be by itself, so I'm going to divide by 3. Everything by 3. So y equals 2/3 x. Remember, because we want a fraction, not a decimal for a slope. Negative 6 divided by 3 gives you negative 2. So your b is negative 2. Your m is 2 over 3. So you plot your negative 2. You'll go up 3, 1, 2, or up 2, and then run 3, 1, 2, 3, up 2, 1, 2, 3, and draw your line. I forgot to put the x in my equation right here. So we'll rewrite y equals mx plus b. Negative 1/2 x plus 2y equals 6. I'm going to take my negative 1/2 x to move it over with my 6 on my right hand side. So I'm going to add, because it's a negative, to both sides. Negative 1/2 x plus 1/2 x gives me 0. So 2y equals 6 plus 1/2 x. I'm going to go ahead and put it in slope-intercept form. 2y equals 1/2 x plus 6. I need to get my y by itself, but the 2 is being multiplied by it, so the inverse of multiplication is division. So I'm going to do 2 divided by 2 is 1. I'm going to divide everything by 2. 1/2 divided by 2 gives me 1/4 x. 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. My b equals 3. My slope is 1/4. I'm going to plot my 3. Go up 1, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And draw my line. Graph 2x plus y equals 5. So we have y equals mx plus b. That's the formula we're trying to get to. We're trying to get to slope-intercept form. So 2x plus y equals 5. Remember, my 2x is a pair, so they go together. So I want to move him from my left-hand side to my right-hand side. So remember left, right. So it's a positive 2x. I'm going to subtract 2x because the inverse of addition is subtraction. Minus 2x, 0, y equals, I'm going to go ahead and put it in slope-intercept form here. Negative 2x plus 5. So y equals negative 2x plus 5. So my b would be positive 5, and my slope would be negative 2 over 1. Because remember, if it's a whole number, you have to put the 1 underneath it for the run. So mark your 5, and I'm going to go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, and draw my line. Y equals mx plus b. So we're going to take x minus 3y equals 9 into slope-intercept form. So I'm going to rewrite my equation. I want to move from my left-hand side to my right-hand side, so minus x, so negative 3y equals negative x plus 9. Let me write that a little better. Okay, so now I want to get the y by itself. So I'm going to divide by negative 3. Everything by negative 3. Negative 1 divided by negative 3 gives me 1 over 3x. 9 divided by negative 3 gives me negative 3. So my b equals negative 3. My slope equals 1 over 3. So I'm going to mark my y-intercept at negative 3. I'm going to do my rise 1, and then run over 3. Rise 1, run over 3. And draw my line. And there's your graph for x minus 3y equals 9. In the slope-intercept form, it would be y equals 1/3 x minus 3. Graph 5x minus y equals 2. So I'm going to write my slope-intercept formula up there. So I have 5x minus y equals 2. So I want to get the 5x over here with the 2. So I'm going to subtract 5x because it's a positive 5x. I'm going to go ahead and put it in slope-intercept form. So the negative 5x will go first, plus 2. Okay, I need the y by itself. It's like a negative 1 here. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 1. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1. So y equals negative 5 divided by negative 1 equals positive 5x. 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2. So my b is negative 2, and my slope is 5, and I need to have a run, so it's going to be 1, 5 over 1. Mark my negative 2. I'm going to go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1. Now I also can go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1. So when you're graphing from standard to slope-intercept form, you need to make sure you get the y by itself. And remember, your slope cannot be a decimal.